Yeah, I thought they did an awful good job on our big fella. I've had him 4 years, not had anybody do as good a job as they did on him tonight, 4 years. So they deserve a lot of credit. I think defensively, their length, their ability to guard off the dribble and stay in front of you really creates a lot of problems. And obviously I think the game changed a little bit when Nick got banged up. Take away, you know, really a huge piece for them in their offensive system. But on the flip side, I got to give our kids a lot of credit for battling back, not getting a whole lot of beneficial calls from the stripes on the floor, and still finding a way to creep back in by hitting some threes and getting the game scrambled, which is not really how we like to play. And we obviously don't like to play quite that small, but found a way to try to be effective and kind of claw back into the game. So I was proud of the effort of the kids.
Is that what you did to try to get past their length, is to get hot from outside?
Well, we wanted to get the game opened up where we could get some angles to get drives. We had luck the second half of the first half on getting some drives and getting some passes into the short corner where our big forward, our four-man, John Green, not big, our four-man, and Al had a little more room to operate, maybe behind him, could get at the rim. We had to find some seams to drive in. In the second half, especially when Al went out, we were more worried about creating space and having them make decisions between ball screen, roller, and open shooters. And so knowing that we've got to hit open shots because they're not going to let us get to the rim very often.
When you guys came back and forced overtime, with the momentum, I guess, going in your direction, what was your message, your area of focus when you were talking to your team before the extra session?
Well, I did think momentum was going our direction, and we felt pretty good about it. And to just stay calm, I thought, to be honest with you, because we had to fight to get it to overtime. We maybe were a bit too excited about being in overtime, and when we hit one shot early. We didn't make the first one, but hit a shot early to tie it up, and after that we didn't knock down shots. We had some pretty good looks, but you're going to live by the three, die by the three a little bit when you play as small as we did, and that's obviously what happened.
Did you think that 50-footer at the buzzer was headed in from your angle?
Boy, it looked pretty close. You know, I was kind of thinking Butler, you know, against Duke. Wasn't that Duke? Butler in the finals, Duke, and the kid had the shot from half court. Pretty similar. Trust me, that would have made it a whole lot more enjoyable evening.
Coach, so we're back in the second half. You guys shaded Frazier in the zone. When Nick went out, how much easier does that become? Less options for them?
Well, they just didn't have as many shooters on the floor, and Frazier and Nick are both really shooters. Nick's a ridiculously good shooter. Yeah, he's shooting almost 50%. I don't know what he did today. What was he today? Let me see. Nick was 1 of 3, so he falls slightly under 50% on the year, I believe now, from three-point line. He's a tremendous shooter, and he gets to it so quick that it makes it tough. You know, for a smaller guy, he doesn't need much space to get that thing off. He gets rid of it very quick. He's quick off his feet. He's a crafty guard. I do think he's the best point guard watching on film. He's the best point guard we've played against. You know, we played against Kansas, we played against Florida Gulf Coast, Colorado State, played against some pretty good teams. And I think he's the best point guard, most difficult point guard to guard that we've played against. So yeah, it changed a little bit on how extended we had to be. Coach Brown made a nice adjustment and exposed us with our little guys on some high-low, and caused us to do something different out of that, but he made a nice adjustment there.
When Nick got hurt, Ryan Manuel ended up running the point for most of the game. Bigger guy, but he's been here 4 years. From your standpoint, what are the biggest adjustments you had to make when you're suddenly facing a much taller point guard like Ryan Manuel?
Well, I think that was in our advantage, because now he's stuck handling the ball the whole time. They used a lot more time getting the ball up the floor. It's out of their normal rhythm. He doesn't look to shoot it a lot. He's definitely a floor general. Now, on the other end, I didn't make it any easier because he's a good defender and he's big and he's long. I mean, what they have us, I don't know if you went out there when I went with the Flying Flea Circus, they probably had us by anywhere from 4 to 5 inches an average per man. And so you're looking at a team out there at one time that we're playing with 5'7", 5'11", 6'2", stretching to be 6'4", and playing, you know, Al or the other big kid at 6'9", you know, 6'10". I mean, that's a small team at any level. And, you know, so our guys scrap pretty good to stay in.
I assume everyone you face focuses on Alan Williams. What did SMU do differently that was effective against him tonight?
You know, he wasn't hitting shots he would normally hit. He normally hits the floaters pretty consistently, so he missed some shots he would normally. And I guess after, you know, the last 2.5 years of pretty much scorching the nets, he can have an off night. But I think their length bothered him, and their big kid is really long. Maria Yannick, he is a long kid. We don't play a lot of guys as long as him that are as athletic as him. Now, in a one-on-one game, Al's size and sheer strength, but they don't let you play one-on-one. They creep down. They have such great length, and they're really athletic for a team that really does focus on the ball and stare at the ball a lot. They're so quick and long. They recover to the ball very quickly also. That's probably the thing that sets them apart from anybody we've played, is how quickly they can go from inside to out. And that's a credit to how they play, but it's a credit to their athleticism and their length.